The execution context is one of the core concepts of JavaScript that we should understand if we want to have easier time to grasp the other internal weird parts of JavaScript and to have better control over our code. First, what is an execution context? An execution context in JavaScript refers to an abstraction of the environment where a piece of code is being executed. There are two main types of execution contexts that can be created by the JavaScript engine. There are the global execution context and the functional execution context. When the JavaScript engine starts reading the code, it creates the global execution context at the beginning, and this happens in two different phases, the creation phase and the execution phase. During the creation phase, three main things happen. A global object gets created first. Then another special object called this is created and bound to the global object. Also, a variable environment space is allocated in memory for variables and functions. And finally, undefined gets assigned to all variable declarations. And function declaration gets stored in memory. This process of variable initialization in JavaScript is often called hoisting. Then we move to the execution stage, where the JavaScript engine executes the code line by line. Now the same processing goes when it comes to functional execution context, with the only difference that during the creation phase, instead of a global object, an arguments object is created, and this object depends on how the function is called. Now, how the JavaScript engine keeps track of execution context? In the last video we have seen that the JavaScript engine has two main components, which are the call stack and the heap memory. So the call stack is the mechanism that allows the JavaScript engine to ensure the execution of all execution contexts, only one of them at a time and in order, because remember, JavaScript is synchronous and single-threaded. When an execution context is created, it gets pushed down the top of the call stack. When it finishes executing, it will be popped off the call stack and execution context memory is going to be garbage collected. And by the way, garbage collection is the process of freeing up memory from objects that are no longer used by the program. To better understand the concept of execution context and how it works, in the next video we're going to visualize the execution of a simple code in JavaScript. Thanks for watching and see you soon.